Before Valorant was ever released as an official game, it was officially launched as a beta on April 7th of 2020. And this closed beta was during a time period of April 7, 2020 all the way until May 28th of 2020. And the regions that could initially play this closed beta were Europe, Canada, United States, Turkey, Russia, and some additional regions such as Korea, Latin America, and Brazil. During this closed beta, there were actually only 10 agents that could be played, and these agents are Brimstone, Viper, Omen, Cypher, Sova, Sage, Phoenix, Jet, Raze, and Breach. And if you didn't realize, Killjoy and Reyna are missing in the order, but they were released after the beta was finished. On June 2nd, 2020, Valorant was finally released publicly, and Episode 1 Ignition began. In the first act of this episode, we had the agent Reyna released as well as the map Ascent. And we also had the game mode Spike Rush and Competitive released as well. Later on into the episode, we got the new agent Killjoy released, the new game mode Deathmatch, and the new map Icebox. And towards the very end of the episode, Sky was released as well as the game mode Snowball Fight, which we don't see very often, and the very first Night Market. Episode 2 released on January 12th of 2021, and it highlighted the release of Yoru as well as the new game mode Escalation. In the second act of the episode, we got the release of Astra, and in Act 3, we got the release of the new map Breeze and the new game mode Replication. Similar to Episode 2, Episode 3 also had a few big changes. In the first act, we got the release of KO, and in the second act, we got the new map Fracture. Also, throughout all these acts and episodes, there are small minor patches and game mode changes as well as weapons changes, which I'm not going to go through. I'm just going to go through really big changes such as agent releases, game mode releases, and maps. Finishing off Episode 3, we had the release of Chamber. Moving on to Episode 4, this is actually when I started playing the game properly. Before I used to play in the beta, but I just didn't like the game and I was more into Counter-Strike at the time. But this is when all my friends were playing and I kind of got into the game more seriously here. Episode 4 released on January 11th of 2022 with the release of Neon. And in the second act of the episode, we got a Yoru rework, which was pretty big at the time. Moving on to the final act of the episode, we did get the release of Fade. Episode 5 brought it the release of Pearl, as well as the release of the new Agent Harbor and the new game mode Swift Play. Moving on to Episode 6, this was the episode where competitive kinda got some bigger changes and more focus. In this episode, we got the release of Lotus, the new map, as well as the map rotation update. And that's where every few acts the map pool would update and we would have some maps going out with some coming in. In the second act of this episode, we got the release of Gecko, and that's pretty much it for the whole episode. There wasn't much in terms of content release, but instead Riot was more focused on balancing the game. Episode 7 was probably one of the biggest episodes in terms of updates and content. It started off with the release of Deadlock as well as the new game mode Team Deathmatch. We also got the release of Premiere in this episode. Moving on, we got the new map Sunset, the new agent ISO, and a Team Deathmatch map named Drift. Episode 8 brought with it the brand new Outlaw release, which is the new Sniper, as well as the release of Clove and the new map Abyss. And I believe it was in this episode where kind of the lore of Valorant really started picking up, and it gained a lot more popularity. In Episode 9, we also got quite a bit of content release here as well as some pretty useless updates if I'm being honest. In this episode, we got the release of Vice, as well as the release of the new Team Deathmatch map Glitch. On top of this, we got some game changes where shields were introduced into the game, as well as the most useless update to date, which was the changing of pings. And last but not least, where we are right now, Season 2025, we started off with the release of Tejo as well as the release of Flexes. And just a few months later, we got a second agent release by the name of Waylay, and that's pretty much where we are at the moment. We obviously had a lot more changes throughout all these episodes and seasons. There were a lot of bundles that came out, a lot of agent changes that came out, and just a lot more content that I didn't cover. I just wanted to cover the really big changes. If you guys do like this video, I can make a more comprehensive one and actually break down everything that happened in every episode. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.